It's time!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the locker room. Listen, today I'm riding solo. Solo. Throwback for some of you all. Contrary to belief, this is not my full-time job. This is not my brother's full-time job. I'd love it to be my full-time job. Listen, if you tell you and 400 of your closest friends, then maybe we can make this happen. But no, I'm riding solo today. Schedules couldn't line up, and I am out of town in Indianapolis coaching a big volleyball tournament this weekend, so I had to ride solo, but it's okay, because we are talking Super Bowl Sunday. We're talking NBA trade deadline, if I could speak properly. I mean, there's so much to get into, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting at the NBA trade deadline, for obvious reasons. There was one clear winner, there was one clear loser, and there's really only three teams we have to talk about come NBA trade deadline time. Because besides Kristaps Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie, I think that's getting rid of some dead weight for Dallas. I think Kristaps has a new start somewhere else. Dallas, that's a little interesting because I like Spencer Dinwiddie, and I think that they're going to go to that dynamic two-guard system that we saw in Golden State, that we saw in Portland, that was very successful for them. And I think Luka Doncic and Spencer Dinwiddie are going to be surprisingly dangerous to a lot of teams come playoff time. But let's be honest. There's three teams that we have to talk about. The Lakers, the Nets, and the 76ers. And I'm going to start at the Lakers. Scratch that. I don't want to start this podcast off too depressing. So let's start with the 76ers and the Nets blockbuster trade. That's the big trade talk for the day. James Harden is finally a Philadelphia 76er. He pouted and moaned and complained his way to Philadelphia, and the Nets finally got a new big three. The Nets finally got the Nets got Ben Simmons. Ben the Bum is now a Brooklyn Net, and for some reason everybody thinks that that's going to change life. That all of a sudden these Nets are going to be the most amazing and incredible impactful team because they got rid of James Harden, who was still giving them, even complaining, trying to watch my swear words here in 2022, but even complaining and moaning and bitching, for a lack of a better term, James Harden was still giving them 20-8, 25-9 at most nights. So, but you're going to add Ben Simmons, who's not playable in the fourth quarter, who's a complete bum. All right, there's so much that I want to dive into. So let's get into the crux. Who won the trade? Let's just go straight up. Who won this trade? For me personally, the 76ers ran away with this trade. I know the big news is Skip Bayless. Everybody's talking about this could be one of the worst moves. Stephen A. Smith, this could be one of the worst moves in Daryl Morey's GM career. He just ruined the 76ers, blah, 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 blah. And I thought Shannon Sharp made a perfect point. Would you rather have a convertible that's producing or a convertible that, while it looks amazing, can't leave your driveway? Do you want a convertible that can take you from point A to point B, or do you want a convertible that looks cool sitting in your driveway? Because Ben Simmons was giving the 76ers this stat line this year: 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 0 games played, 0 team camaraderie. The only stat that you can say for Ben Simmons is 3 practices? 2.5, because he got kicked out of one? Of course the 76ers won this trade. We're looking at a modern era Shaq Kobe feel. That's how it feels for me. James Harden and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's the best big man in basketball right now. While I really like Jokic, I think Joel Embiid is playing the most impactful ball for a big man. I mean, he's MVP right now. That's the problem, is especially in the NBA, your MVPs seem to never have a healthy season all the way through. But, let's be honest here. Joel Embiid is the best big man in basketball, arguably playing the best basketball when he's healthy, outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant's always hurt. LeBron James sits out for 7 games, comes back, drops a 30 bomb, but he's playing for the Los Angeles Trash Bags. The 76ers walked away with this trade. I don't see how they didn't. This is a modern era Shaq and Kobe. James Harden, think about when James Harden was most successful. And this is the argument that I've had all day today with different people. James Harden was most successful when he had Clint Capella. When he had a guy that could crash to the basket, that could get rebounds, that could create space down low. When he could slash to the basket and there was two threats down there because James Harden's such an effective passer when he gets into the lane. That's when James Harden was so successful in Houston. You're now giving him the best big man in basketball who can stop and pop, who can stretch the floor with threes, who can play incredible defense, who can be a presence on his own at the rim, let alone when he has a guard that can create for him and a guard that's a threat to shoot. You see, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid could have been effective, but Ben Simmons never took the shots. Why do you think Joel Embiid was so pissed? Ben Simmons was passing up layups, passing up jump shots, passing up threes. Didn't have the guts. Ben the Bum didn't have the guts to shoot a basket. He could create shots for Joel Embiid, which is awesome when you can therefore take shots to create that space even greater. You see, James Harden gives Joel Embiid something he's never had. A guard that can create shots for Joel Embiid, but also a guard that can take shots and make them at a high level. Modern day Shaq and Kobe. Now I get it. James Harden has kind of been half-assing it all year. He's doing the same thing that he did in Houston, right? Where he just complains, he whines, he doesn't get into shape, he takes dumb shots, he doesn't talk in press conferences. He whined and complained and bitched and moaned all the way to Philadelphia, and I get it. James Harden, that's a little bit of a bitch move. Like, I get it. He took his kickball, he ran home, took his kickball, he ran home, and then the kids said, no, you're wonderful, because they needed that kickball in order to play kickball. You're wonderful, you're great, you can be on the best team, and then he brought it back. That's what he's doing. He told the Nets, he's just like, listen, I'm going to not get into shape. I'm going to take dumb shots. I'm going to complain. I'm going to sit out for injuries even though I'm healthy. And I'm going to take my kickball and go home. Unless you trade me to a team that I want to go to, and then I'll be happy and I'll play my best version of basketball that I can. You see, that's my big problem with the NBA overall as a whole, though. You have a bunch of whiny babies that just complain and whine and cry and bitch and moan until they go to the spot that they want to. It's a business, people. Like, and this is one of my biggest critiques for LeBron James. Of course, you all know I think LeBron James is the greatest of all time. But what LeBron James did is he made the NBA mobile. He made players just say, hey, no, I don't have to stay here and play at crappy Detroit. Get me out of here. Which, in a way, I didn't mind. But at this point, it's just taken to an extreme. Because there was still power involved. Because LeBron James was going as a free agent. He wasn't holding the Cavaliers hostage and saying, send me to Miami or I will literally sit out the rest of the year. And that's what these people are doing now. James Harden, you send me to Philly. Or I'm going to be the biggest nightmare that's on this team. And you're on a team with Kyrie Irving. Like, this NBA generation just whines and complains. And they're just like, all right, well, you send me to the contender. You send me to a contender, or I'm not going to play anymore. Hey, that's great. Hopefully the NBA starts strong-arming these players and saying, hey, I understand that you're not going to play for us anymore, but I hope you enjoy the practice squad. I hope you enjoy filling up Joel Embiid's water bottles, Ben the Bum. Like, this trade frustrates me because I'm tired of these players like James Harden bitching and moaning and whining just because I want to go to a contender. I'm not going to play here anymore. Ben Simmons, I don't think I'm mentally ready to play. The second he gets traded to the Nets, I'm ready to go. Mental health, especially for athletes, because I am a coach, I'm involved with athletes' lives 24/7. I do not think it's funny that you can just throw the mental health card out there because you didn't want to play at a certain spot, because your coach yelled at you, because you refused to shoot layups, because you refused to take jump shots. So it's just my little rant there. Let's get back to the trade talks, all right? Listen, I don't have a co-host this week, so I can go off on as many tangents as I want. Also, if Justin was here, I'd go off on whatever tangents I want to because I can. But Anyways, 76ers won this trade. You've got James Harden, modern day Shaq and Kobe vibe with Joel Embiid. You've got Tobias Harris still. Like, you've still got, what's his name? Maxey. You've still got guys that can play at a high level. So for me, Joel Embiid, James Harden, much better duo than what we're about to talk about in Brooklyn. So everybody keeps telling me this morning, Brooklyn won this trade. Brooklyn got 3 starters out of the deal. Brooklyn, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's look at what Brooklyn got. Let's look at what Brooklyn has. Brooklyn has an injured Kevin Durant. Still. Brooklyn has an unplayable player in Ben Simmons in the final 5 minutes of a game. Now, while I think Ben Simmons is going to complement Kevin Durant more than he will be a detriment to Kevin Durant, he's still not playable in the final 5 minutes. Because the problem is come playoff time, and this is what a lot of people don't think about. Yes, Ben Simmons has great defense. Yes, Ben Simmons is a slasher. He's a playmaker, and that's amazing. He was unplayable in the final 5 minutes in Philadelphia for the simple fact that he would not take jump shots. He would not take layups. He's a basket case in the head. Ben the Bum became the bum because he doesn't know how to play all the way through a game. He's unplayable. I mean, there's no, the final 3 to 5 minutes, what good teams are going to do is they're going to say, great, we're going to pull the Westbrook treatment on Ben Simmons. We're going to let Ben Simmons dance around up top all he wants. We're going to keep him from getting to the basket. Teams like the 76ers that have a big man. Teams like the Miami Heat that have a big man. Teams like Milwaukee that has the best player in the NBA right now in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Teams that have big guys that can protect a rim are going to say, all right, Ben, beat us. Shoot. Shoot. And if we've seen anything from Ben Simmons, is that Ben Simmons is too afraid to take the big shots. Ben Simmons is too afraid to be in the big moment. So that's what you've got. You've got a guy who's not playable, who will be great for the regular season, who is only also, he'll be a great addition for Kevin Durant. I'd say for Kyrie Irving as well, but Kyrie Irving only plays 12 games a year, so there's not a whole lot I can say about Kyrie Irving. But also, you're not getting scoring. Your defense is still atrocious. Everybody goes, well, they got the addition of Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond has not been great since he was in Cleveland. Let's take it even further back. Andre Drummond has not been great since he was a Detroit Piston. He wasn't even that great in Cleveland. He was just okay. He was still good in Cleveland. He's not been great since he was with the Detroit Pistons. So you're now going to rely on Andre Drummond, who's supposed to be, he is your DeAndre Jordan, the guy that you brought in that you said was going to change defensive culture for you. And you've got, LaMarcus Aldridge? That's your defense? The Nets are a defensive liability across the board. Ben Simmons is their only good defensive player, and he can only play defense until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and if it's a close game, they're screwed. They're going to turn into a shootout, and the problem is they can't stop teams from scoring, but teams can stop them from scoring. So unless Kevin Durant's going to go nuclear, and score 48 every single game, and Kyrie Irving all of a sudden gets 7 vaccines and is able to play, the Nets are in a lot of trouble. So you got Ben Simmons that's not playable. You have Kevin Durant who's hurt every other weekend, and now you have Kyrie Irving, your other part of your big 3. Big 2.5, let's be honest. Kyrie Irving plays 12 games a year, and we're supposed to be afraid of that in the playoffs. Think about when he's come back. Yeah, Kyrie Irving scored baskets. Great. Anybody can go to the YMCA and drop 30 who knows how to play basketball. He can go out there and give you 26 and 7. That's awesome. What is he doing to your culture? What is he bringing to the table besides 20 points? Is he leading your team morally? Is he getting the morale of the team up? Is he hyping everybody up? Is he being a great teammate? Not really. He's off on the bleachers talking about how the world's flat or some dumb crap. So he's not doing anything for you morally, not bringing the team camaraderie up. He gives you 20 points a night. Awesome. If you're getting 20 points a night every 5 nights, what good is that going to do you? So part of your big 3 is literally a waste of space. Part of your big 2.5, if you want to give Ben Simmons a full point here. Ben Simmons is a basket case. Kyrie Irving literally plays every 5 weeks. He's like a full moon. He comes out once a month. So there's all of that. And then when Kevin Durant comes back and is healthy, he's going to have to average 40 points a game in order to get you over the hump. And we saw him try and do that last year, and guess what? They still lost. So the 76ers won this trade for the simple fact that James Harden is now fully bought in. And I'd rather have a fully bought in James Harden than a half in Kyrie Irving and I don't even really know how to describe Ben Simmons. Not necessarily a half, like, I don't know if he's half in, quarter in. You just don't hear from Ben Simmons. He's too busy losing $45 million. By the way, if I was Ben Simmons' sports agent, I would fire my client myself. I would just walk away. Because you're ruining your reputation by letting Ben Simmons sit out and lose $20 million and just be like, oh, well, it's for his mental health. Shut up. It's because Ben Simmons is a big crybaby and Joel Embiid called him out for being too big of a you-know-what to take the shots when he needed to take the shots and costing the 76ers their opportunity to go to the championship. That's what it is. Let's call it what it is. Ben Simmons is a crybaby. Ben the bum. So that's what the 76ers have. Oh, I'm sorry. You got Seth Curry. All 5'10" of him. While I like Seth Curry as a role player, he's now going to be put into the starting lineup because of all the injuries. So you're now going to have what? KD, Kyrie every fourth game. Ben the bum, maybe if he feels like getting up out of bed. Seth Curry and LaMarcus Aldridge. If I'm the Nets, I rewind everything back to when I had Spencer Dinwiddie, when I had Karis LeVert, when I had Jared Allen, when I had pieces. That's a dangerous team if you add Kevin Durant and a fully bought in Kyrie Irving. That team's scary. But don't tell me I'm supposed to look at this version of the Nets and be terrified. They're the fourth best team in the East. In the East! Well, Jacob, who's better than the Nets? They have Kevin Durant. They have Kevin Durant every 4 months. They have Kyrie Irving every 12 days. Milwaukee, head and shoulders above the Brooklyn Nets. Guess what? The Brooklyn Nets can't seem to beat Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's been missing a lot of pieces when they play the Brooklyn Nets. You want to know why? Because the best player in the world right now is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Unstoppable. He's shooting at a high level. He's a high defender. He has energy. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a million times better than Kevin Durant as of right now, and I will fight anybody for that. Best player in the world, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He established that last year in the championship. I just love saying his name, by the way. Giannis Antetokounmpo. You've got Milwaukee. Better. Philadelphia 76ers, with the addition of James Harden, someone that's going to be a modern-day Shaq and Kobe for them, that's giving them, 26 more points than they would have gotten from Ben, who was giving them 0. I'm going to choose 76ers over the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to choose the Miami Heat, if healthy, over the Brooklyn Nets right now. They're a more well-put-together team, and they play as a team. You've got those three. They're the fourth best team in the East? Absolutely, 76ers won this trade. There's nothing that you can do to convince me that the Brooklyn Nets had any sort of success come the trade deadline. Besides the fact that they got I guess what they're classifying as a fully bought-in Ben Simmons, but they're pairing a fully bought-in Ben Simmons who hasn't played in literally 6 months with a half-bought-in Kyrie Irving who refuses to get a vaccine with an injured Kevin Durant. So you tell me how that's a recipe for a championship. All right, now let's talk about the team that lost the day. Look, can we be honest? We know who it is. Can we be honest with ourselves? We know who it is. Taking a sip of my energy drink here. This episode is brought to you by Red Bull. No, I'm just joking. That would be pretty cool, though. That'd be pretty cool. While we're thinking about it, hey, make sure that you follow The Locker Room on its social media, TLR Podcast 615. That's TLR Podcast 615 for exclusive content. You can stay up to date with everything we have going on. Listen, I told you, we are moving up in the world. We had a record number of listeners last week, which is so cool to see. This podcast is growing and growing, and you're a part of it, so thank you, Locker Room Faithful. But make sure you're subscribed to everything. make sure that you're on board with us. We got a bunch of awesome interviews coming up. My co-host will be back next week. Red Bull's going to sponsor me after this episode. We're still sponsored by FNX Fitness. Go to fnxfit.com. That is fnxfit.com for all of your gym needs. So my promo code's on there. So if you need workout gear, if you need supplements, it's all at FNX Fitness. All right, anyways. The Los Angeles Lakers lost the NBA trade deadline. Are you shocked? No, no one is. They did nothing. You want to know why you lost? You did nothing. I would have rather have gotten a haircut from a blind man than keep Russell Westbrook. I would have rather have wrestled an alligator covered in peanut butter while singing I'm a Little Teapot than keep Russell Westbrook. I would have rather have gone into church on Sunday and said, Satan's the best, and then ran out. I would have rather, I'm just going to keep going, by the way. I would have rather gone to a Taco Bell and put lettuce on my tacos than keep Russell Westbrook. I would have rather sat and watched every episode of Gilmore Girls backwards than keep Russell Westbrook. I would have rather... All right, I think that's enough. You get the point. Russell Westbrook is the biggest calamity tragedy that has happened to the Los Angeles Lakers since insert Kobe joke here. Oh, it's all fun and games on the podcast, guys. It's all fun and games. R.I.P. Kobe. I love Kobe, all right? I really do. It was just, the joke was there for the taking and I had to land it. Oh! 2 for 2! Oh, sorry, guys. Okay. I've got my dog barking now. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. It was bad. I'm sorry. The point is... the point is, Russell Westbrook is a calamity. He's trash. We have never seen a superstar meltdown this bad, while still technically being in their prime, ever. We have never seen them go from a top 15 player, top 16 player, to a bottom 50 player in a span of a year. If I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, why I was holding on to that 2027 first round pick, I don't know. You ship that pick, you ship out Russell Westbrook, and you get John Wall and Eric Gordon in the process. Now, while neither of those are going to make or break your season, probably, at least you got the problem out of the way, which was Russell Westbrook. I'll pull Skip Bayless's words here. Russell Westbrook. The most atrocious player in the NBA right now. I've never seen something this bad. You can't go from a top 20 player to a literal bottom 50 to 60 player. I mean, I don't even know. And like, he just keeps like, his press conferences just get more pathetic. He's just like, in the playoffs, everything's 0-0. It's like, yeah, Russ, but you gotta get there. You've gotta win games to get to the playoffs. You don't just show up and go, everything's 0-0. Yeah, maybe on NBA Blacktop and NBA 2K. But you actually have to earn a spot in the playoffs, Russ. I know I had 37 turnovers tonight, but I was just trying to make the right play. For what team? For the Lakers? Or for whoever you're playing against that night? At the end of the day, blood, sweat, and tears go into the game. All right, there's a lot of tears that are going into this game, and it's all of the fans watching you play. You know how cool it would be, too, if, like, Russell Westbrook heard this and just, like, went off on me? That's, like, my dreams that I bash. Like, I want Jake Paul so bad. Not even for the clout. I don't even want the clout or the follower. I just want him to, like, personally message me and be like, I hate you. I wish you were dead. I hope you get cancer. Like, I want one of these superstars to just come after, like, a small podcast in Middle Tennessee and just be like, I hate your guts. Because to me, that would be hilarious. But I'm in a weird mood, guys. All right. I've drank way too much Red Bull. Speaking of Red Bull, if you want your day to fly as high as the wings that Red Bull will provide you, make sure that... All right, moving on. But the Los Angeles Lakers did nothing. They did nothing. John Wall and Eric Gordon are 10 times better than Russell Westbrook, Talen Horton-Tucker, and your 2027 first-round pick. You know what this says? Genuinely. You know what this says to me is that the Los Angeles Lakers are burning down. They're burning down the season. The season died when they removed Staples Center off of the top of the building and they inserted Crypto Villa rich people name. I don't even know. It's cryptocurrency building now. What is it? Which is going to be super awkward when like crypto goes away. They should have named it, they should have named it the Metaverse Arena. Because like everybody's buying everybody's buying property in the metaverse. And like people like, yeah. Like they're instead of like the animated people, like just playing, instead of people playing, sorry, I'm trying to wrap my mind. Like, okay, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm not doing a good job of clarifying it, you know, like online worlds, like where you create yourself and you create the life that you actually live instead of putting a gun in your mouth in the life that you're in. You know what I'm talking about? Sorry, that was really crass. I told you, you got me in a weird mood. But like, so people create the life that they want to have in this metaverse. People are now spending real money buying land in the metaverse. So I guess that them and all their imaginary friends could own proper. I don't know, but that would have been a cool name, the Metaverse Arena, right? The point is that the Lakers are dead to the world right now. They are. The Lakers are dead to the world. And they should have shipped out Westbrook. You know, at this point, I think we're going to see LeBron James just go off for 35 every single night, take as many shots as possible, chasing Kareem. And the Lakers told not only their fans, but told the city of Los Angeles, hey, we're done for the year. We're burning down the ships. No more safety nets. We're just going to burn it down. We'll reload in the summer. Hopefully go after Damian Lillard. Hopefully Russell Westbrook decides that he's going to retire from basketball, or, you know, that he's going to go play for some team that, like, he'll go back to Houston and make them above 500 because that's what he's good at. He's the best player on the worst team. He is that guy that's like, I know I'm good, but I'd rather be on the crappy team so that way all my flaws get masked over because I dropped 39. It's like, yeah, but you know, you have a guy on your team named Kevin and you're in the NBA. He's just like, yeah, but it's okay. The Lakers lost everything. LeBron's losing his hair. AD's losing his confidence. Russell Westbrook is losing, I don't know. He dressed like a Cabbage Patch the other day walking into the crypto arena. I don't know what to do with this man. Stop wearing ascots, bro. Do you realize you're a grown man? Well, I mean, you're not super tall, but you're also a grown man wearing what Fred wore to solve mysteries? Like, do you know that you're wearing the same thing that Fred wore to solve crimes with a talking dog? Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. All right, that's enough on the Lakers and Westbrook in basketball. That's the NBA trade deadline. And like I said, you all have caught me like 3 coffees in, a couple of Monster energy drinks in, and I hope you're enjoying this episode. All right, let's talk about the Super Bowl because that's what we're going to close on. Joey Burrow versus Matty Staff in the Super Bowl this Sunday. My prediction right now. So Joe the Cigar Burrow is on his way to his Super Bowl in year 2, his first full healthy year. The Cincinnati Bengals are the Cinderella story. They've done it. They've taken down the big dogs. They're there. They got there off of the arm of one Joey the Cigar Burrow. My initial thoughts, we kind of talked about this last week when Justin was here, is my initial thoughts is that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win and or lose this game on the arm of Joe Burrow, and they are going to win or lose this game on the hands of the front lineman the offensive lineman. That's probably the best way to put that. The front line is what I was trying to say. If the offensive line can give Joe Burrow... If the offensive line can give Joe Burrow some time, Joe Burrow is going to shred any defense he plays against. You just can't give quarterbacks that are that great a lot of time. I don't care if it's Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. You name the quarterback, any quarterback that's in that top 10, you give them time to throw a football, they're going to do as much damage as possible, even if you have the best cornerback in the league in Jalen Ramsey. Does not matter. He can't cover Jamari Chase for a full 30 seconds. If the Cincinnati Bengals can protect Joe Burrow, keep him upright, I think that Joe Burrow can do a lot of damage to this Los Angeles Rams defense. Now, this Rams defense is significantly better than the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line and the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Like it is probably the best thing going on in this game, if we're being honest. Now, while the Los Angeles Rams have a good offense, while the Cincinnati Bengals have had a pretty good offense all year, I still think the Rams defense precedes all. Like this, it feels like a Denver situation to me, where it's like, you know, this is Denver and Peyton Manning, except this isn't a Matty Stafford that can't throw a football. But this is that feeling to me is they have a defense that is number one. It's number one for a reason. It has the best defensive players in football in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and that's just too hard to overcome. But if anybody can do it, it's Joey the Cigar Burrow. I think that he can do it. I'll make my prediction here in a second. But if there's anybody that can do it, I put my money on Joe Burrow. You want to know why? Because I bet against him all this time, so why not go for the little guy? Why not? I mean, in the words of Joe Burrow, why not us? And he's got it. He's got it nailed it right on the head. Why not us? The offensive line is the big difference. The Rams are going to put up points. This is going to be either a shootout or it's going to be a blowout. This is either going to be a 34-28 game, this is either going to be a 34-38 game, or this is going to be the Los Angeles Rams murdered the Cincinnati Bengals 24-7. If the offensive line can't protect Joe Burrow, they're not going to be able to move the football, and it's going to be if Tennessee got 9 sacks on Joe Burrow, it's going to be wildly different when you have guys like, Aaron Donald coming at you, the best player in football. Can the Cincinnati Bengals keep Joe Burrow upright? I'm not worried about Jamari Chase. I'm not worried about Tyler Boyd. I'm not worried about Joe Mixon. I'm not worried about the offensive pieces. I know the defense is going to give up points. You know that going in. But if they can protect Joe Burrow, this game becomes interesting. If they can keep Joe Burrow upright, this game becomes interesting. Because Joe Burrow can win games strictly off of his arm and his arm alone. We've seen it all year long. I mean, my faith and trust is in Joe Burrow. Now, that being said, Joe Burrow is going against the best defense in football, going against the best 2 defensive players in football, in Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, going against Aaron Donald, arguably the greatest defensive player of all time, and it's going to be a long Sunday. I truly believe that the Rams defense will be the difference in this game. If the Rams can get pressure to Joey Burrow, then you don't have to rely on Matty Stafford to throw for 380 yards. And while I like Matthew Stafford, I think he's wildly talented, I don't know that Matthew Stafford is ready for that big of a moment. Now, we've seen him have big moments in the playoffs this year, but there's a difference between a playoff game and there's a difference between a Super Bowl. Is he ready for that Super Bowl moment? I wouldn't even give him that opportunity. If I'm Sean McVay, that's exactly what I'm saying to myself. I don't want to have to rely on Matthew Stafford to make the big throw to win the game because he's never been in that situation. He's never had to. So why put him in that situation? Let him go out there, throw for 225 yards. Let Odell have 60 or 70 yards. Let Cooper Kupp have 3,000 yards because that's just what he does. And let him have 1 touchdown, maybe 1 interception, and just keep the ball on the ground. Let your defense bail you out of the situations they need to bail you out in. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to overthink this if you're Sean McVay. You see, the times that Sean McVay struggled, especially the last time he went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, was that Sean McVay tried to be too cute. He tried to overthink. He tried to just say, well, this is what we do. This is what we do, so this is what we're going to do. No, you have to adjust every quarter, every play. Why do you think Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time? He knows how to adjust. They look like 2 different teams coming out of halftime. He goes in with the game plan. If the game plan's not working, he adjusts and comes out of halftime, and they usually beat you 90% of the time. Sean McVay can't just be like, oh, this is what we do, I'm not going to change, because otherwise he's in for a very long Sunday night. Sunday night. Super Bowl. Just don't make Matthew Stafford have to be the hero. Let your defense do what it's done all year. Create damage, create chaos, let Joey Burrow make the mistakes that he most likely will make as a young quarterback, and let your defense pound him to the ground. This is 100% feels very much like like Denver with Peyton Manning. You got a quarterback, except this quarterback can throw it a lot better than Peyton Manning, but you got a quarterback they've not seen in big situations, and that point in time, they had not seen Peyton Manning really do much more than exist at the quarterback position because of his injury. So you've got a quarterback, you don't want to rely on him completely, so your defense picks up that slack. Therefore, you win a Super Bowl pretty handily. That's what they need to do. They need to attack it from a defensive perspective than more so than an offensive perspective. That being the case, my other thoughts for the Super Bowl is this halftime show better be the greatest thing that 1998 has ever seen. I mean, listen, Eminem's my favorite rapper. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, like this is my era. Like, I'm dating myself a little bit. I got that. Yeah. But like, these are my dudes. I don't listen to not Tech Nine. What's the 6ix9ine? What is that his name? Is Tekashi 6ix9ine? I don't listen to him. I don't listen to Little Tay Tay, I think. What's that person? Little TT, Little Tay Tay? Is she a rapper? Is it a rapper? Is he a rapper? I don't know what it is, but I know that it's a thing. Like, these are my dudes. So I expect a banging halftime show. The last couple of halftime shows, can we be honest, The Weeknd, trash. Even Justin Timberlake, like, he didn't really even do anything that I was just like, yo, this is awesome. Katy Perry's the last one that I really remember. I mean, she had fudging dancing sharks. It was amazing. She came out on a 70-foot robotic elephant. Was it an elephant? Tiger? It was a tiger. Tiger, yeah. Lion. It was a lion. Duh, because... Anyways, she came out on a massive lion and then had dancing sharks with beach balls. Like, those sharks became memes for literally years to come. So I'm expecting a banging halftime show. I'm expecting like Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Mary J. Blige. I'm expecting just straight heat. Straight heat. All right, let's fast forward to the prediction here. Then you all can get out of here. You can go to fnxfit.com and use our promo code TLRHOST, all capitals, 15% off your order. You could go drink some Red Bull. Red Bull, you should probably sponsor me. That'd be really cool. You can go listen to That's Life, streaming now. Brand new episode, The Magical Clown, is out now, and it is blowing the frick up, so you need to get in on that trend. Get in on the blow up of That's Life podcast, because that's a lot of fun. You know, you can go check that out. But this is what you came for. You came to hear me rant and say some things that I probably should not have said into a microphone today. And I'm sure that I'll get a message from a Karen, and I love it. Also, what's the male version of a Karen? Karen and, like, Kevin? Kevin sounds like somebody who's just like, I think we need to talk. You know? But this is what you came to hear me predict my Super Bowl selection. You came to hear me say, I believe that so-and-so will win. And let's be honest. It's been a good year of football. If you're a football fan, it's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been exhilarating. It's been competitive. It's been wild. Tom Brady retires. Sean Payton, out of here. Tennessee Titans, throw 3 interceptions and lose a playoff game. How depressing. The Bears start more than one quarterback all year. So thank you, NFL. Thank you, NFL, for the year that we've had. Thank you, players of the NFL, for the year that we've had. We watched a grown man strip, throw his uniform into the crowd, and literally leave a stadium in the middle of a game. The NFL has brought us highlights. It's brought us tears. It's brought us laughter. And it's bringing us a big dance on Sunday. And at the end of the day, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams, baby. Give me Matty Stafford winning his first ever chip, the well-deserved chip that he needs. Give me Sean McVay with his first Super Bowl ring. Give me the Los Angeles Rams by 14. I'm calling it right now, 24-20. 10. It's over. Not going to happen. Defense is going to show up. Aaron Donald is going to prove why he's the best player in all of football history at the defensive position. Lock it. Jamari Chase ain't going to have one catch. Joey the Cigar Burrow, you should not have beaten the Tennessee Titans because I'm done with you. I was supporting you all the way through. Listen, I'm glad you made it to the Super Bowl, but it's time to go home. It's time to go home to Coach O. Go Tigers. All right, it's time to go see Coach O. Get out of here. Goodbye. Give me the Los Angeles Rams by 14.